What's going on, everybody? You are watching Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we're going to be diving into what some of the top NFL insiders are saying about the Vikings quarterback situation. With the scouting combine going on this week, a lot of them are talking, a lot of them are getting new information from the Vikings organization, and it looks like the Vikings do have a plan at the quarterback position. So we'll talk about that here coming up on today's show. But if you guys could help me out, my boss challenge me to sell 10 of these t-shirts on today's show. So if you guys just go to chatsports.com/VikingsGreen, you guys can get these delivered before St. Patrick's Day. They're just $29.99. Also, this black one, you could wear this all year long. If you're watching the Minnesota Vikings and we're having another disastrous season, you want to have a couple drinks while you're watching your favorite team, I think the Minnesota Drinking Team t-shirt is sweet. So if you guys could, I would really, really appreciate it. You guys support this channel like crazy. But if you guys want to rock some Chat Sports merch, just hit this link, chatsports.com/VikingsGreen. It's in the comments section. It's in the description of today's show. Just click it and get some Vikings Chat Sports merch today. All right, let's start off with our favorite insider, Diana Rossini, talking about JJ McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings. And she says, I think they really want to develop JJ. I really think they want to get JJ going. And I learned that actually this week more than ever. And I don't want to just say no duh to Diana, but yeah, no shit. Like the best case scenario for the Vikings is that JJ McCarthy is QB1 next season. No matter how you feel about him as a prospect, as a person, as a member of this Vikings organization, the best thing for this organization is that JJ McCarthy is the starter and he ends up beating out whoever they bring in, and you're still able to take advantage of him on that rookie contract. Like, no matter how you feel about the kid, if you like him, if you don't like him, the best case for this team is that JJ McCarthy takes some massive steps this offseason and he plays like a top 15 quarterback. Because if he does play like a top 15 quarterback, the Vikings are going to be a damn good football team. They went 9-8 last season with some of the worst quarterback play in the National Football League. If you get top 15 play, you win 14 games like you did in 2024. And this offseason is absolutely massive for McCarthy. I think he needs to take steps in terms of his maturity and obviously him just as a quarterback, because the mechanical issues that Kevin O'Connell alluded to this entire season, they're still a problem. He's got to shore up the accuracy concerns, but also one comment made by current Vikings GM Rod Brzezinski makes me think that the Vikings aren't as maybe high on JJ McCarthy as other people think. This is what he said. He says, what we do know is we need a level of baseline quarterback play for us to be effective. He said baseline quarterback play. A lot of this has been JJ in unfortunate situations with some of the injuries and things that he's dealt with, but we're going to explore every opportunity, and I don't think there's anything specifically we're looking for. We can't manufacture anything that's not there. So number one, what are the options? Is it reciprocal? Is it financially doable? All those things, there's just a lot of factors that go into it. And I think this was pretty telling from Brzezinski, because I'm sure him and Kevin O'Connell have talked a lot about the quarterback situation. Like, hey, what do we want to get out of this upcoming season? And I think Kevin O'Connell probably just said, we just need a baseline amount of quarterback play, just like the bare minimum. We can be effective as an offense. Now, I wonder if that's KOC stroking his ego a little bit, saying like, hey, we were bad last past season, not because of me, because of the quarterback play we had. But if we just get a baseline, easy, acceptable amount of quarterback play, like we can be an effective offense, which is very true, because we have seen guys like Josh Dobbs when they're playing good football with this system. Vikings won a lot of games. Kirk Cousins won a lot of games. Sam Darnold won a lot of games. So this means a whole lot for JJ McCarthy. But if they don't view JJ as a guy who can get them to that baseline quarterback play, they'll head in a different direction. Now, direction that they probably won't be heading to, Diana Rossini saying, I don't see Kirk Cousins coming back to the Minnesota Vikings. Now, she also mentioned how it makes a lot of sense on paper. Like, yeah, on paper, Kirk Cousins returning to the Vikes makes a lot of sense. But she says she can't see that happening, and thank God, because if Kirk Cousins were QB1 next season for the Minnesota Vikings, I think this offseason would be a disaster. Like, a lot were to have to go wrong if Kirk is QB1. But not just Diana, Dan Orlovsky giving his thoughts on the Vikings quarterback station. If you're Minnesota, you have to be thinking of who is the best quarterback available for us right now and go get him. Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray, that should be the order for the Minnesota Vikings. And I do agree with Dan. I would just flip Kyler Murray and Kirk Cousins because, number one, if you're looking for a bridge option, Aaron Rodgers is a great option for you. Like, if the Vikings do plan to sit McCarthy this upcoming season, like, they already got that stamp. They're like, hey, I think that's best case long term for this franchise is they go the more Jordan Love route where they sit JJ McCarthy for 1 year. He gets a year older. He develops. He works on mechanics. And then the next season, he is the starter. Aaron Rodgers is a perfect option because there's no doubt in my mind the Vikings next season are a playoff team with Aaron Rodgers. I kind of feel stupid for not thinking more about Aaron Rodgers this past offseason, but we were just so in love with JJ and we wanted JJ to work out. But now after what we've seen from him, and especially what we saw with Rodgers this past season, where he wasn't great, but he wasn't working with a lot in Pittsburgh. He didn't really have that good of a defense. He didn't have too good of weapons. They had a decent running game, but he got them to the playoffs. He had them hosting a playoff game. If you put Aaron Rodgers in this system with these weapons, with that defense, they are going to be a problem for a lot of teams. Now, could the Vikings reach the mountaintop? I don't think so. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is a guy anymore that can take you to an NFC Championship game or take you to a Super Bowl. But there would be no doubt in my mind that my expectation with Rodgers at quarterback would be for the Vikings to win a playoff game. That was his expectation with Pittsburgh last year. That should no doubt be the expectation in Minnesota. So I would be a lot more open to Aaron Rodgers than I think compared to most people. And one guy I have cooled on a little bit in terms of just the trade market has been Kyler Murray. Now, I think Kyler is still a very good option for the Minnesota Vikings, but you're not going to trade for the guy. Like, his contract's too much. Vikings can't give up that draft capital, so I've cooled on the Kyler Murray trade, but it's looking like he'll probably get cut. This was coming from Ralph Acciano saying there are questions about his work ethic, which has dogged him in Arizona for years. His quiet personality has also raised concerns about his leadership. So, clearly, I think Arizona is going to cut Kyler. I mean, and this will happen before the league year, March 15th. He's got a bonus set to kick in. It is financially responsible for the Arizona Cardinals to cut Kyler before that. And if he gets cut, I would absolutely have interest in Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray has a ton of talent. He's the number 1 overall pick. He would be a guy you're taking a flyer on. Now, schematically, there are some issues there, considering Kyler, since DeAndre Hopkins left Arizona, he has not been able to push the ball downfield whatsoever. And it's not like he hasn't had good weapons in Arizona. I mean, having Marvin Harrison, obviously he hasn't lived up to his draft pedigree, but he is still a good wide receiver. Michael Wilson's a good wide receiver. They have Trey McBride. Like, he's had weapons. So I'm not as high on Kyler as I was, maybe a month ago, but still would have some interest, especially if he's cut. You get Kyler Murray on a 1-year, $5 million deal. Like, the Vikings should absolutely be having a conversation about that. But you guys let me know. If it's between Kyler Murray and Aaron Rodgers, who would you rather be QB1 next season? This is tough for me. Don't feel strongly either direction. Probably go Rodgers. Like 51% to 49%. But both these guys are kind of in the same bucket. I think Rodgers just raises your floor a lot more and still gives you that upside. Where Kyler, I mean, the floor, I have no idea where the floor would be. But the upside would be there if Kyler can tap back into, who he was at the beginning of his NFL career. But you guys let me know. Pick a quarterback, Kyler or Aaron Rodgers. All right, so Peter Schrager was talking on ESPN earlier this morning about the Minnesota Vikings, and he just threw a shot at Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, and I wasn't too fond of this by Schrager. This is what he said. He said they fired the GM because he had Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, and an interested Aaron Rodgers in the building, and he said, no, we're good with JJ and Max Brosmer and Carson Wentz are going to be his backups. Schrager, listen, I don't know if you're getting paid off by Kevin O'Connell by putting this out there. You are absolutely naive if you think Kwesi Adofo-Mensah was the only voice in that room and he was the one that decided on the quarterback position. It has been reported. Alec Lewis said it. Kevin O'Connell has had the biggest voice in the room when it comes to quarterbacks. That is not why Kwesi got fired. That's just flat out wrong. He has gotten fired because of his drafts. He has gotten fired because of the free agency he had this prior season and giving Hargrave, getting Jonathan Allen the contract. It's lazy analysis by Peter Schrager. It's just him saying, like, oh, look at the quarterback position. This is an easy talking point for me. I just think it was just no need to bring up Kwesi right now. It was just lazy by him. But my best guess on with the Vikings this offseason at the quarterback spot is they probably go with competition for JJ McCarthy. I don't think they're going to go out there and get that, big fish, the guy who is going to, completely mean that JJ is not going to start. And that's why I think guys like Aaron Rodgers, Kyler Murray, Derek Carr, Joe Burrow probably aren't too likely. Like Rodgers, I think right now he'll probably go back to Pittsburgh. Arizona will cut Kyler. I don't know where he will go. Derek Carr, sounds good on paper, and obviously Joe Burrow's not getting traded. I think the Vikings, if I had to go comp with JJ McCarthy, and if I had to give my best shot right now, I think it's Geno Smith. I don't think it's Kirk. I don't think it's Mac Jones because of the pick. I don't think it's Malik Willis because of the contract. Like, they're probably picking a quarterback out of this bucket, and I think it's probably going to be Geno. Maybe they view a guy like Andy Dalton as comp with JJ McCarthy, but he, in my opinion, falls more in the veteran backup quarterback bucket for them. So Marcus Mariota, Joe Flacco, maybe they go that direction. But if I had to call my shot, I think it's probably going to be Geno Smith as a quarterback the Vikings bring in. I would rather still go get Rodgers or a guy like Kyler Murray. But, in the end, it really just comes down to JJ McCarthy. If JJ McCarthy ends up working out, that would be awesome. That is best case scenario for this team, and hopefully it ends up happening. But if you guys made it to today's show, give me those scores down below in the comment section. Also, hit that subscribe button on your way out. We'll keep you guys posted with everything around your Minnesota Vikings this entire offseason. So hit that sub button today. See you guys next time. Let's go Vikes.